I got a phone call from work on one of my sick days. Very quick phone call. Normal salutations. I was asked whether I had any personal effects left at the office. The answer was no. And then they retorted, well, there's no point coming back then. Call over. No pomp, no ceremony. That was it. I was 30, but it felt like I had aged 50 years in a few weeks. I had started to use a walking stick, sitting down, walking, standing up were all occasions to negotiate with the pain. So, what are most companies inclined to do in times like this when one of their employees' health is deteriorating? Well, you can call it all sorts. You can call it the path of least resistance, a desire to maintain the status quo, a desire to maintain efficiency. But it comes down to this. The employee's health deteriorating becomes a friction, and they want to get rid of the friction. So they try to eject the employee. That's what happened to me. That's the cold and hard truth. Even if it's morally, humanly, and even legally wrong. But most companies get away with it. Now, in hindsight, for that not to happen, what you need to do, but I was too unwell to even think about that, was recording everything. Emails, phone calls, letters, everything. And ask for legal advice to see if there was a case of unfair dismissal. So what was happening to my body? Well, I went to the doctors and the diagnosis came in. Severe psoriatic arthritis. So 2 components. Psoriasis, as you can probably still tell, still suffer from it all over my body. My skin is discolored, patchy, all the rest of it. And arthritis. So I tried everything that traditional medicine threw at me. Lotions, potions, pills, phototherapy. Some things provided a little bit of relief, but it was all short term. And side effects were really off-putting. So I read, I researched, I asked around, and then I started to realize something. For some reason, mainstream medicine downplays it, but diet and lifestyle plays such a huge role in whether we develop diseases or not. So it dawned on me that what was happening is that the accumulated effect of poor diet, stress, the inflammation that my body was accumulating had nowhere to go. Therefore, it showed in the symptoms in what I was suffering from. So I went on a mission. I started to completely overhaul my diet, cut out sugar, processed food, a type of vegetables that is called nightshade, so potatoes, peppers, and all the rest of it. And I added stuff to my diet, supplemented with omega-3, with probiotics, got rid of as much processed stuff that I could. And then within 6 months, I was much, much better. There was discomfort, but I could run again. And my skin cleared. Now, beyond the health story, this is what I'd like you to sit with. When you're in an environment that encourages you to always push through, ignore the stress, pretend that it's not there, but it is there. The stress accumulates. It runs through your system. The cortisol, which is a stress hormone, is there, never let out. Is it any wonder that your body starts to break down? Is it any wonder that something starts to give? Now, let me be clear. It wasn't just because of the environment. There were other factors, like my genes. I had that condition dormant in me for a long time. Added to that, my diet was poor. I didn't do enough exercise at the time. I didn't have a proper way to deal with the stress. Didn't have an outlet. So all of that contributed. However, what triggered the condition to flare up like it did was the environment. But the system would prefer you to think that if there is a problem with your health, it is your own fault, it is your own responsibility, and it is maybe a sign of your inadequacy. The blame is conveniently shifted. If the blame is placed on the individual, then they don't have to do anything regarding accommodating them. So they can carry on business as usual. The system can continue dealing with its own interests. It's harsh, it's cold, but it's good to be cognizant of that. Systems have their own interests, and their interests are not necessarily aligned with yours. So understandably, employment by this time was leaving so much of a bitter taste in my mouth that I was really veering towards another system. I just didn't really want to go back to employment if I could help it. You see, it's funny because sometimes you weigh things in your mind and you repress a decision that you'd like to take, but for XY reasons you think, yeah, I'd rather have the stability, or I should be doing what other people are doing. The beaten path is the best path. And then your body just takes the helm, because at one point, they say the body keeps the score. So even though in your decision you're not taking into account that your body is ailing, your body in the end says, no, enough. Enough is enough. I'm taking the helm and I'm making the decision that you are postponing, that you are repressing. That's what happened to me. Now, my difficulty with employment as a route transformed into something else. Now, something put a nail in that employment coffin for me. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in the next video. The story of pharmaceuticals, Brexit, and yet another redundancy. Now, beyond the health story, this is the lesson I'd like you to I was gonna say I'd like you to highlight. No, it's me highlighting. I would like to point out. Yeah, that's better. We're gonna start it again. I've got a lot of crazy chickens. This chicken has laid an egg and proceeded to eat it. I'm gonna spare you the gruesomeness, but yeah, that's what she's doing now. She's announcing that she's laid an egg, but you're not gonna see it. Don't, oi, careful. Do not throw my phone down, okay? Whoa.